13, 14, and 15 say multiplying binomials with leading coefficients of 1. Binomials just mean you have two terms. X plus 5 is a binomial, x minus 2 is another binomial. It says the leading coefficients are 1 because you just have a 1x and a 1x. You don't have any 2's or 3's in there yet. So when I multiply binomials, they do what they call foiling. Multiply the first two together, multiply the outside pair together, multiply the inside pair together, and multiply the last two together. So the long way of doing this, if I do the first two, I'm taking the x times the x. X times x is x to the second power. Adding my exponents, 1 plus 1 is 2. Or anything times itself makes it squared. Doing my outside pair together. My outside pair would be the x times the negative 2. In algebra, when you take a variable times a number, you just put the number in front of the variable, no sign in between, so x times negative 2 is just negative 2x. Then doing my inside pair together, I have a positive 5 times x, so I'm going to get a positive 5x. I put that sign there because I know normally I'd be writing this all out in a row and I need the signs in between. And then my last pair, a positive 5 times a negative 2. Positive times a negative is a negative, so I get minus 10. So really what I did is I took this x times both of these two terms and then the 5 times both of those two terms. Now when you have your list, these two terms here are going to be like terms. Negative 2x and a positive 5x have the exact same variable. I can combine them. Negative 2 plus 5 is positive 3x. So my answer looks like this. X squared plus 3x minus 10. They happen to call that a trinomial because there's 1, 2, 3 terms. So normally I don't write all of that down, but just to explain what foiling is, I put that there. Normally I just do this. I start out and I say, okay, first one's w times w. W times w is w to the second power. W times my plus 4. A variable times a number, I put the number in front of the variable and I include that sign, so plus 4w. Negative 1 times w. Normally that's negative w, but since I'm doing my work, I can put the 1 in there if I want to, just to remind me that that's a negative 1w. My answer, I wouldn't want the 1 there. And then negative 1 times a positive 4. Negative times a positive is a negative, and 1 times 4 is 4. So keep in mind there, you're multiplying all of those together. Now you're going to combine your like terms, so now you're doing your adding and subtracting. So my answer, I'm going to have the w squared. 4w minus 1w is plus 3w, and then the minus 4 on the end. And so w squared plus 3w minus 4 is my answer. And the last one here, number 15. Again, we're multiplying binomials, so I'm going to FOIL it out. U times u, u to the second power. U times negative 7 on the outside, negative 7u. Plus 5 times u on the inside, plus 5u, and a positive 5 times a negative 7. Positive times a negative is a negative, and 5 times 7 is 35. Again, my middle two terms will be like terms. I'll be able to combine those. So u squared, negative 7 plus 5 would give me negative 2u minus 35, and there's my answer. So when I multiply two binomials, they do what they call foiling, and we'll do a bunch more of that on the next sheet.